Hello. So today I am here to share 8 easy ways to add more protein into your meal. And if you're somebody who is on a weight loss journey, or if you're just trying to become healthier in general, protein is going to be one of the building blocks of your nutrition plan. And I'll have a different video talking about why protein is important, but the Cliff Notes version. Number 1, protein ensures that in a calorie deficit, you're losing body fat and you're not losing lean muscle. One of the other biggest benefits of eating enough protein is that it helps to keep you full between meals. So if you're somebody who's constantly feeling hungry within an hour or so of eating your meals, check out your protein. Be sure that you're getting enough protein. So without further ado, let's get to it. 8 easy ways to add more protein into your meals. So tip number 1, I really encourage you, if you're somebody who can digest dairy without a problem, and if you're somebody who enjoys it, use dairy to your advantage. So I'm talking about food like fat-free or low-fat Greek yogurt. I'm talking about cottage cheese. I'm talking about cheese sticks. Heck, you can buy protein fortified milk these days. Dairy is one of those food groups that, yes, can be calorically dense, depending on the fat levels, but it's usually a great source of protein, again, if you're somebody who can easily digest it without any issues. Tip number 2, when you can, opt for protein sources that are ready to use. So a couple of different ways or a couple different types of ready-to-use proteins that come to mind. First up, you can find pretty darn affordably canned bean, canned tuna fish, canned chicken, canned salmon in the grocery stores. And I'll be honest, does the fresh taste better? Of course it does. I feel like fresh anything tastes better. But if you're trying to cook healthy, high-protein, easy meals and time is of the essence, if you're low on time, if you're busy, don't be afraid to rely on cans of tuna, cans of bean, canned chicken to add to your salads, your meals, your sandwiches to make it easy to get in that protein. Another pre-made option, opt for some pre-made turkey meatballs that are in the freezer section of the grocery store, or pick up a pre-cooked rotisserie chicken at the grocery store. Or better yet, Costco has pre-cooked rotisserie chicken already taken off the bone. So all you need to do is season it, warm it up, and it's ready to go. One more idea, if you're somebody who enjoys seafood, pick up a bag of shrimp at the grocery store. Shrimp is a very high protein food, barely any carbs or fat, and a pretty good bang for your buck in terms of calorie count. Now, that brings us to tip number 3. Don't be afraid to use protein powders to supplement your protein intake. So again, our bodies obviously prefer protein from actual food, but there's nothing wrong with supplementing with a protein powder. So I recommend adding protein powders to smoothies. You can add it to pancake batter and make protein pancakes or waffles. You can add it to your oatmeal if you enjoy oatmeal in the morning. Heck, you can even add it to soups or to baked goods. You could make a protein muffin or protein banana bread. So again, the flavor of the protein powder is going to matter, but get creative. The options are endless as to what you can add protein powder to boost that protein intake of most of the baked goods and foods that we love. Now, tip number 4 is buying protein fortified foods at the grocery store. And there is a caveat with this one. You do need to be careful about the sugar content and other added ingredients to some protein fortified foods. So some cereals will say that they are protein fortified, but they really don't contain more than 4 or 5 grams of protein per serving. But a couple options that come to mind right away, if you're familiar, there's a brand here in the US called Kodiak, and they make protein fortified oatmeal. They make protein fortified muffins. I want to say they have at least 8 to 10 or 12 grams of protein per serving. Another idea that comes to mind for my Italian food lovers is getting some protein fortified pasta. So you can find chickpea pasta, you can find lentil pasta, you can find pasta that has been protein fortified. So that's another easy option, especially if you're trying to make a family-friendly meal that your kids will eat. Now, tip number 5, don't be afraid to use eggs as a source of protein. Again, if you're somebody who can easily digest eggs. So I feel like sometimes people are afraid to eat eggs because they're worried about high cholesterol. But research is suggesting that while eggs do contain cholesterol, there is no direct correlation between egg consumption and cholesterol. It also comes down to all the other foods you're eating in addition to eggs. So get creative. Obviously, eggs, we always think of breakfast. Omelets, scrambled eggs, fried eggs over toast, etc. But you can also use hard-boiled eggs. Add that to a salad for lunch or dinner. If you want to boost the protein consumption in your eggs, mix your eggs with a little bit of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese before scrambling them. It's an easy, healthy way to, again, just boost that protein intake. Tip number 6, plan your meals around the source of protein first. And sometimes this can be a challenge for me and for many of the clients that I work with. We get our mindset that I want pizza for dinner, or I want this soup for dinner, and maybe it's a vegetable soup, or I want to have this salad with vegetables, or I want tacos. But if you can figure out the source of protein first, then decide what you want to pair that protein with, you're going to be setting yourself up for much bigger success long term. Maybe you do want pizza. Again, I believe all foods can be in a healthy diet and a healthy nutritional plan. If you want pizza, how can you pair that with a lean protein? Can you maybe get some grilled chicken on the pizza, or have a side salad with chicken with a piece of regular pizza? If you're craving that vegetable soup, can you add an extra can of beans, or add some diced chicken or some lentils or something in the soup to make it a little bit more protein fortified? If you start to plan your meal differently and focus on the protein source first and build the meal around that, you'll be much more successful at eating enough protein. Tip number 7 is get creative with the lean meats. Ask yourself, where can you add more ground turkey? Like I just said, let's use that soup example. Can you make some mini turkey meatballs and add that to a soup that you're making? Or can you double whatever protein a recipe calls for, double the portion? So just add in extra chicken, extra beans, extra tofu, extra eggs, really thinking of upping that protein source. And then last tip number 8, try to make some protein-enriched dips. So if you're somebody who loves chip dip or ranch dip for vegetables, or you really like mayo or something on sandwiches, get creative. Use Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. You can use chickpeas and beans to make your own hummus. How can you use seasoning and spices with Greek yogurt to make your own homemade protein-enriched dip that you can either use with vegetables, you can use it with chips as long as they're portion controlled, or you can even use it as spreads on sandwiches or as toppings on salads. So there we go, 8 tips to add more protein to your meal without taking a ton of time. Now, I would love to know if this video is helpful. Do me a favor, give the video a little, and then drop in the comments below. Hold yourself accountable and allow me to help hold you accountable. Which of these 8 tips are you going to add sometime over the next week? Let me know and we will talk more soon. Thanks so much.